Right, welcome to WOD number 5. Basically, for this workout, I'm not putting it out as a workout that you follow exactly. I'm going to start to show you now supplemental areas that you can work. So it might be, as in this case, we're going to look at the 3 key elements to cross-training for strength. If you train in combatives, you should cross-train for strength and conditioning, but the most important element of that, as a bare minimum, you should train your transverse core, your grip strength and your neck, as we're going to do in this WOD today. Now you could take this WOD as a day aside where you work all 3. You work your neck, followed by your grip, followed by your core, but the recommendation is that you just take 1 or 2 exercises of each and alternate them and integrate them into your normal workout. So you do your normal warm-up, then you do whatever's task specific. You might do comfort, you might do pad work, you might do weapons work, and then finish with something for your grip. Next time finish something with your neck, next time finish something for your core. Or you could set a day aside, as I said, and just work all 3. Certainly do not neglect the importance of core, grip and neck strength as a supplement to making you more efficient combatively. So the actual 4 WODs I've given you with a PDF lesson plan, really, rather than see them as set in stone, take them as a template, so how you can now design your own. So with those 4 WODs previously, you can look at how you can organise your workouts. What I'm going to start to give you now is supplemental work that you should either integrate or, like I said, in this case at least, set a day aside. Other things that you might want to look at as well is high intensity intervals, tabatas, that kind of stuff, anything that works your metabolic conditioning. You might also look at just training skills work, where you might just work hand-eye coordination, you might work balance. You also want to work cardiovascular fitness, but you want to integrate as many things into your solo WODs as you can. So if you work at a quick pace, going from one exercise to another in a circuit fashion, that will have an overall cardio effect. But the idea, like I said, is when we're training task specific for combatives, we're training for an all-out effort, so that ATP type of thing, and then that should be supported with work on your impact dynamics, work on your core, work on your grip, work on your neck. So you can take this workout as what you're going to do for this week if you like, or you can take it as elements that you can supplement into templates that you should already be making. You got any questions on any of these exercises? You know, just to be fair, just look on YouTube. There's loads of tutorials for grip, but here we're just using minimum kit, and also working the neck and working the core. Remember, we want, as a minimum, really, we want something to hit and beat on, so a heavy bag of some kind of solo pads and some kind of resistance bands. If we've got those things, then that we can work most stuff as a bare minimum. In addition to that, improvise other stuff. You know, you find stuff lying around, usually a granite or a cement or a concrete block for pinch gripping. Find a nice big shaped stone for that kind of thing. For neck work, you can do manual resistance, you can use bands, you can use weight, as you see. But yeah, so this WOD number 5 is all about the importance of neck, grip and core, which are the 3 key areas task specific for strength conditioning for combatives. So integrate them as you see fit. Enjoy. In terms of training the neck, you want to train the flexion part of the neck that brings the chin towards the chest. That's the primary. Big sternocleidomastoid muscles here is what you want to thicken out if you can. You should also train it lateral flexion, ear to shoulder, both sides, and from a chin down position, raising the head backward. Now, the simplest way you can train it in solo training is isometric and repetition movement with manual resistance. So taking one hand here, placing my head back here, just bringing my head forward against resistance. So I'm making it hard, but I'm not making it impossible. And I'm pushing harder on the negative than I am on this concentric part of the rep. So eccentrically, when you lower, so if you raise something, concentric. If you hold something, static, isometric. And if you lower something, eccentric. On lowering on the eccentric, you are stronger than you are raising on the concentric. So pushing forward here on the concentric will be less force than when I resist eccentric as I push back. I'd work about 12 to 15 repetition rep range, forward flexion, left side,
and right side. You can also do the rear side just by holding onto your fingers, and of course this works well with a partner using a towel or buddy assistance, but we're looking from a solo perspective right now. So neck flexion in all directions would be the suggestion first. Outside of that, I would suggest that you employ some kind of bridging. So you can bridge from the front and you can bridge from the rear. You can hold it statically, and you can also raise up and down for reps, and you can add resistance. So resistance bands are another way to go in terms of flexion. So if you wanted to use weight, you could just attach some kind of setup that is fixed to an anchor point, as I'll show you, and or outside of that, just normal weight plates. So the first one that we can look at, just find a soft piece of material, take a couple of weight plates. Now ideally start with about 5 kilos, work up to 10, 15, about 15 kilos, 3 different plates. I've only got light plates here, but give you an example of what I'm doing. You just put 3 plates together, place this, and you want to place it high on your forehead, about where your hairline is, and just hold them in place with the hands. When you actually rock and do the lift itself, resist the temptation to pull with the hands, just literally hold the weights in place and do the lift with your neck. So I'll show you a front flexion motion. Now you can do this just lying on the floor. I like to have a bit of concave in my back, so here I'm just using a Bosu. You can also just use a medicine ball or a stability ball, but it's not necessary. You can just put your head up against the edge of the bench, or just stay literally on the floor like I said, right? Just going to take the weight plates, place them on the forehead, ride the head all the way back. Just hold it in place with the fingers, bring the head all the way up, and down, up, and down, up, and down. Use a cadence of 2 seconds up, 2 seconds down. 2. Try and get out 10 reps like that. And then on the last 5, pick it up. You can do straight sets for a number of reps with a certain weight, or you can add weight and do drop sets. So if I'm using 3, do however many reps for 3, and drop a plate, continue with 2. Drop a plate, 1, drop the plate, just your head. I was on a Dave LeDuc seminar some time ago, the lift away guy, and he just trains manual resistance, also weights on a harness, but biting onto it like the tyres do. So biting onto a harness and just raising, so he's getting jaw strength and neck strength, and they'll do reps like this, just raising it into their hundreds until it gets a good burn. So frontal neck flexion, this is the first exercise. If you want to do it side on, side position, same setup, your weights, place them high on your head, take the head down, so, and up. Straight sets, just going to do 2 seconds up, 2 seconds down. Drop sets, you can pick up the pace somewhat on your reps to get the burn. You can also pulse. You can't do any more complete reps, just pulse. A motion, and you can't pulse anymore, you can just hold and resist the negative. So up, down, again. Drop a plate, keep going, down. Drop a plate, keep going. Drop it, keep going. Switch to the other side. So on the head, side on position, up, down, just again holding on with the hand, don't pull with the elbow, just hold the weights in place,
the lateral flexion do the work. If you're doing straight sets of 12 to 15 reps, 2 seconds down, 2 seconds up is a good pace. If you're doing a drop set, you can pick it up a bit, 1 second up, 1 second down, feel the burn, drop the plate, continue. Drop a plate, continue. And drop a plate and just keep moving the head. So you got to pulse it and then maybe just push isometrically and then rest. So I'm only showing you with small plates here because that's all I've got. I would probably use a kettlebell or a resistance band, but the ideal would be frontal flexion. Start with a 5 kilo plate and you can get up quite quickly to about 10 to 15. Make sure you keep your jaw tight when you flex in either direction. This would be neck flexion. Like I said, bands can also be used really well. So start with a light band, get the feel. Basically all you're going to do is take the band out from the anchor point, make sure it's attached. Place it on your forehead, just keep it in place, put your weight forward and just press, 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 same way, flexion. If you need more resistance, step out, make it harder. If it's too much, bring yourself back. Eventually we get up to quite a thick band here, and then work your reps to set back. You can do about 3 sets. You might start with a light band, go to the next, and go to the next, and then you've got a thicker band, try and work towards that. Get to a point where you're looking to progress it, so you get to quite a thick band and it's easy. You've got a thinner one, then add that as well. Right. So you can work frontal like so. You can also work with your flexion, keep it in place, chin on the chest. From there, just back. Just use the hands. Hold it in place. Laterally. Do the wrestler's bridge off the front of your forehead. It's a forward position, so you want to feet at least twice hip width apart. Put yourself in place with your hands first. Just kind of put yourself on your head. You can keep your hands here if you want. Start. What you're doing is rocking onto your forehead. And controlling it with your hands until it feels comfortable. Do less static or do reps. Just forward and back and hold. And when you get to fatigue, hands back again. Just do a few more. Just be front wrestler's bridge. Knee wrestler's bridge. Sliding it back. Cushion under your head. Just bridge up. Here, keeping the hands out in front. Alright, lay hands here. Just rock forward and back until you're comfortable without the assistance of your hand. Right, remember it's quite important first that you warm your neck up. So, yeah, your neck is a delicate structure, so everything feeding life to your heart and lungs and to your brain comes through your neck. So you want to keep it protected, you want to armour plate it. Building a strong neck and good strength in the traps of the upper back will stabilise your head a lot more. Now that can limit brain shake. You catch a shot, even if you catch a shot blindside without seeing it, you'll tend to lock up and ride with the shot, particularly if you ride with the shot, you'll lock up the muscles of the neck
to stop the movement of the head. Now that can limit brain shake. It won't necessarily stop you from getting knocked the fuck out, but it can help. As well as if you're in extreme close quarters and somebody's got you round the neck, grabbing you in some way, squeezing you in some way. If it's not correctly on the larynx where it's closing the airway, or it's kind of on this side sternocleidomastoid and mastoid structure, if you've got a strong solid neck, then you can resist to a greater degree getting strangled out via the carotid choke. I'm not saying it'll stop you completely from getting choked out, but it can certainly help. Maybe you may have a neck strong enough to move to a position where it's not on now and now you can do something. Not that you want to find yourself in a situation like that, but having a strong neck can help you ride shots and ride the effects of getting manhandled, shall we say. And of course, you know, column-like neck is strong, it's visually impressive, it gives you confidence, so training your neck is essential. The other area that you need to contemplate and think about training, of course, is the grip. Now, I've talked about grip in other tutorials. A lot of grip training devices that you can buy focus on the crush grip. This is bringing the fingers into the palm of the hand. Now, yeah, that's relevant and it's important, but it's not as important as thumb strength. So pinch grip, employing the thumb strength. Thumb makes up the majority of your grip. The other thing you need is distal fingertip strength. Strengthen your fingertips right at the very end. You want how to when you explosively grab somebody, you want them to know they've been grabbed. So various exercises that it's like the sandbag, so Pilates sandbag, 2 kilos, 3 kilos, 5 kilos. You can make one in a pillowcase with some sand in it, beside a plastic bag. Basically a weighted sandbag, throw it up in the air, snatch it out the air. Throw it up, snatch it out the air with the other hand. I've done a tutorial on that before. So distal fingertip strength, pinch grip and cross grip, that's what you're looking at. Also wrist strength, and you want the ability to pronate and supinate with good strength and control. So wrists, cross grip, pinch grip, distal finger strength, all those things are important. The other thing that you want to do too is use bands to work the extensors. We don't spend enough time in extension. So be sure to, any flexion work you do, just to finish with a couple of sets of high reps with a band, as I'll show you, and it works the extensor muscles. You're less likely to get tendonitis or pain in the elbows if you do that. I can talk to you from experience about that. Final area that I would consider essential, so the 3 essentials: neck, grip and core. So core is a complete structure all the way around. Think of it as a column of power. But in particular, you're looking at developing the functionality and strength of the transverse core, which is deep underlying underneath the rectus abdominis. So this area here is more task specific to real world strength. So you're in a burning building and you had to pick up a heavy table to throw it through the window. So it's in order to escape, that would be transverse core. If you had a kid and you had to throw him up to higher elevation to get him safe, that would be transverse core. When you throw a big shot into the body or hit somebody with a stick or throw something, all transverse core for rotation and stability. That's where you want to focus. So I'm going to give you a tutorial on each of those, and I want you to work them into your program. So like I said before, in other places you should, as a combative trainee, particularly as one that's striving to be tier 1 civilian level of capability, you must cross train. You must cross train, and the cross training must include some strength and conditioning, task specific for your event, which is an immediate all-out explosive effort. You should cross train in what will allow you to improve those things. If you don't cross train in a strength conditioning program with your combatives training, then why aren't you? Because, you know, a stronger, more explosive combative trainee is a more efficient combative trainee, period. But if you implement the minimum, then as a minimum work the core 3, and they are the essential 3. They are the neck strength, grip and core. Work development and functionality. Functionality is what you're looking at. So you want strong hands, strong neck, strong core. That definitely translates. In terms of many people that are big into the everyday carry or EDC type of thing, I mean, we all like that. If you're a striving to train towards a tier 1 definition of civilian combative training, so tier 1 being the best that you could be, you would cross train in many different disciplines. As we said before, you should, as a minimum, be good unarmed skills, really good unarmed skills. You should know how to use an impact weapon, you should know how to use a point and edge tool, you should know how to shoot, you should know how to drive effectively if your life was in danger. You should know tactical emergency medical care, you should know some bushcraft, you should know these things. All of these things would accumulate. Understanding elements of counter custody if you were ever taken unlawfully, how you can pick lock, break restraint, break tape, break zip ties, etc, etc. All of these things come under the tier 1 category. But what is the primary is your combative unarmed skills and your fitness and your conditioning. So if you take that analogy back to your everyday carry or your EDC, people say to me, what's your EDC? Well, my EDC starts with what I get out of bed with in the morning. Absolutely nothing. It starts with my mindset, my skill set, and then my fitness and my conditioning level. You need to be fit to fight. You need to be capable. So my general physical preparedness, if you like. So they're the 3 elements of your EDC that are with you all the time without any additional kit. Your mindset, your skill set, and your physical conditioning. And working your neck, grip and core should be a part of that. I'm just going to do a bit for grip. Grip strength, particularly distal fingertip strength, is what you need for real world strength. You grab somebody and rag them around. As is thumb strength. Thumb strength is really important. Thumb strength is employed whenever you do a pinch grip type of motion. The most common way to train grip that you see are the grippers and various other little gadgets that work. Crush grip. This is the ability to close the hand from this part, closing it into the palm. It's important, but it's not the most important. Most important is digit strength. You want to work fingers. One really good way to do that very explosively is to take a small sandbag, flip it up in the air and catch it, as we'll see, like snatching it out of the air. You can get these little Pilates weights now that are soft, 2 kilo, 3 kilo, 5 kilo. So I'm going to show you how to play with that. Pinch grip, anything like pinching a smooth outside weight plate. So put a couple of weight plates together smooth and pinch them. There's plenty of grip tutorials on YouTube, and the best person I've ever met in the world for grip strength is a guy called David Horn. He's a world grip champion. He's got a website, he's actually linked on our website, so if you have a look you can get some great ideas. But basically all I'm going to give you is a couple of exercises. We're just going to look at this fingertip strength. We're also going to look at crush strength and pinch grip. Various things that you can employ. So you can use these, you can get these kind of rock pull-up accessories which go into a chin bar for like rock climbing, but they work distal finger strength really good, as does climbing. So just doing some bouldering on an outdoor wall or an indoor wall will do wonders for your grip strength. Other little gadgets you can make: take a soft ball, put an eye hook in it, attach it to a pin with some weight stack or a band so you've got constant pulling weight, and just capture it with the thumb and the distal and the fingertips. Again, distal fingertip strength, really good for pulls and lifts. We're going to work a variety of this stuff over a period. Ropes, I like ropes. Thick rope, hanging from a rope simply with a good grip will work wonders for your crush grip, as is any kind of climbing exercise, particularly lowering yourself with your arms only. So ropes, tying your ropes to a sled and pulling, or even tying them to a band rig if you've not got a lot of place to move around, and just constantly pulling in, letting it out, pulling it in, letting it out. We're going to use a variety of stuff as we go. Really, all you need is a piece of cloth and a weight. So if I've got a kettlebell, something like that, or I could use something lighter for different types of work. You can just take a simple towel, roll it up like so, put it through, and take a crush grip and hold it. So you could work just for lifts, for isolated holds for time, or you could start swinging the weight, bringing it back, catching it with the other hand, bringing it back, continue with a more kind of power endurance type of thing. But basically all I'm doing is putting a towel around a weight. Could be a weight plate, weight stack, could be a band set up to an anchor point, it could be a kettlebell, it could be anything. Tie it to one of your kids, just hold it
with a grip strength this way and practice pulling this way, or hold it downward, practice holding or pulling this way. If you can attach or do, as I said before, something with a rope, it's very good to pull the rope in end to end this way in what we call a pronated grip. Really works your pulling power from the little finger side really well. So there's lots and lots of options you can employ in terms of working for grip. You can really improvise well pretty much anything. Take a soft piece of material, like I said, through this. You could also take it this way, where you've got the weight, you fan this out, you roll this up, and now you just practice holding from here. Maybe if it's a lighter weight, it's a little bit overzealous with that. So you can practice simply pulling it to full extension and then just rolling it up, rolling it up, rolling it back down. You know, any number of things that get your hands moving, get your hands working. You want that crush grip, you want that pinch grip, and you want that distal fingertip strength. You also want to work your neck. So neck flexion. If you do nothing else but lie on your back and flex your neck as I show you for sets of 20, 30, 40, 50, 100 reps with no weight, you'll build power endurance in your neck, and you know, you'll make it, get rid of any loose skin that you've got and make it much more taut. You can start working with plates as well, so you can do isometric resistance, manual resistance, use bands, use plates. You can move it forward, you move backward, and on a lateral plane. So we're going to look at working grip strength and neck strength into our overall program. So remember, core, transverse core, that responsible for transverse plane of turning and torque, and also for stability. That's real world strength. Good strong column-like neck, you're more likely to be able to ride shots and absorb impact, limit the brain shake somewhat, nowhere near totally. You are some more resistant to chokes if they're not on properly, and you can maneuver yourself. And having a strong neck gives a power presence, makes you feel good, makes you feel confident. So working the neck. But the grip, when I used to grab hold of people, they fucking knew they were grabbed hold of. So you need distal finger strength, pinch grip or thumb strength, crush grip. We're going to look at a few exercises just to finish today's one. Right, so here's the Pilates bag idea. Just like sand filled bags, 5 kilos, 3 kilos, 2 kilos. You could easily make one. Just use a zip up cushion case that you have like for a pillow on a sofa, and just put sand in it inside a plastic bag, and then inside of that now you've got something you can throw up and catch, as I'll show you. Other thing you can do, piece of scaffold pole, cut down if you can find a piece, or just some foam. This foam is probably better, pipe legging. Just put over your conventional kettlebells and dumbbell bars, makes it thicker, harder to grip. Thick bars are best. Here I'm just using a stone, about 2.5 inch to 3 inch diameter. It's got about 3 inches this side, about 2.5 inches this side. This is good for pinch grip. You can use a cinder block, you could use concrete block, you could use weight plates, any number of things. But you want to employ this pincer type motion. The thumb makes up the majority of your grip strength, and it's very often unworked when people do conventional like crush grippers. So taking an object like this, you know, I recommend that you use chalk, you know, calcium sulfate, chalk it up, get a good grip and get a lift up. This is about 6 kilos. Just hold it for time, pass it from one hand to the other, you can pass it round the back like continuous in a loop. You can just hold from one hand to the other hand. You can hold two hands if it's a little bit heavy, one hand for time, pass it to the other hand, get to throwing it from one side to the other, just until your grip gives out your thumb grip. It's just very simple. You find something like this somewhere down by the beach, seashore, something like that. Nice chunky little rock. Just play with natural objects for pitch grip strength. So again, I can work hold for time. I can work continuous reps of movement, just lifting it up and down. I can pass it from one hand to another here, or I can pass it around the body. Alright, one additional exercise that I want you to look at for grips and hand strength is finger extensions using just a small band. Now you can get bands specifically for finger extensions, or you can just use a rubber band or a bunch of rubber bands. Rubber bands work. So basically you're going to tie or loop one part around your fuck you finger, and then you're going to put the tips of all your fingers in the rest, so it comes down just past your fingernail. And then all you're going to do literally is extend, just open your hand. You want a band strength that allows you to open your hand without too much trouble at all, and you're looking for 15 to 25 reps. Working the extension muscles in this way counters all flexion type work. So we tend to do too much flexion type work and not enough time in extension. So it applies to put too much pushing and not enough rowing, as an example. It's the same with this. You need crush grip strength, pinch grip strength, digit distal strength, as we've said, which all involve closing of the hand. You need to balance that with extension of the fingertips here as you raise the hand up and backward. Here you can feel it all down the extensor muscles of your forearm, and this will allow you to balance that out and also take away any chance of tendonitis or elbow pain. It really is a soothing thing for that. So 2 to 3 sets of finger band extension left and right for 15 to 25 reps at the end of your grip session is recommended. It's a brilliant transfer core exercise from PatMac. These are Get You Some PatMac bands. They're really good. Not essential for this exercise, but we need a band. A decent anchor point. This band I've doubled up now. Taking a piece of PVC pipe, put it through the centre here. What I'm going to do is brace here and get some traction. Here when I feel good resistance, I'm just going to rotate to my left and then to my right. I'm going to go for 10 reps, left and right. That's what I'm doing. This, arms out, 10-degree bend, feet past shoulder width, braced, hollow body, tuck the pelvis, drop the shoulders, shoulder packed, on line with your chin, rotate. Keep your hips forward, just turn your shoulders, rotate. So you can do reps in succession without a pause. You can pause halfway, come to this way, pause halfway, come back, or any number of ways. You can just hold each position for 10. So here, take the band, do first set, left and right, 10 reps. So 1, 2, that's 1, 1, 2, that's 2, so on. All right, then we're going to go a little bit of static pauses, and then we go asymmetrical. When you've done your reps, pause, 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 pause. So split 1001 seconds. Then pull back as far as you're comfortable. Rotate, hold for 10. And back. And then other side. It's really great for any transverse core motion, which requires the transference of body weight. Transverse core is where it's at. Transverse abdominis, deep underlined by the spine, the support structure. Good stability, strength, good ability to rotate. Rotational, transverse core work, and static plank work is what you want. Combination of both. The ability to freeze for stability at any moment in point in time. Feel that all in your legs, your glutes, all over. Gives a good kinesthetic tune up. Get a feel of the core. Great exercise.